the world was busy battling the COVID-19 pandemic. In 2020, Myanmar held its general election, a significant event in the country's democratic transition. However, the outcome of the election sparked controversy and led to a series of unfortunate events. Following the election, the military, also known as the AZMAD, alleged widespread fraud and irregularities, which they believed undermined the fairness of the electoral process. This dissatisfaction culminated in a military coup on February 1, 2021. The coup has had severe consequences for both ASEAN unity and Myanmar stability. To get a better understanding of what is actually going on, you need to know a bit about Myanmar's complicated history with democracy. Myanmar, or as it was known back then, Burma, spent 124 years under British rule. In the years after World War II, the country finally gained its independence as the Union of Burma. Unfortunately, the country was plagued by conflict and clashes among its diverse ethnic and cultural populations. In 1962, the armed forces overthrew the government, abolished the Constitution of Burma, and established a military junta. This led to the formation of a single-party system dominated by the BSPP. However, it was not until 1988 that the BSPP's authority was significantly contested by a widespread series of protests initiated by student activists. The protest movement expanded to include hundreds of thousands of demonstrators. Aung San Suu Kyi, the daughter of Aung San, revered as the founding father of the nation and a pivotal figure in the struggle for liberation from British control, became an influential leader. Aung San Suu Kyi was subsequently confined to house arrest, a situation that lasted for 15 years. Throughout that period, she persisted in advocating for reform within her political group, the National League for Democracy, which led to her receiving the Nobel Peace Prize in 1991. It was only in the latter part of the 2000s that the military revealed plans to transition towards a democratic governance structure. Yet, the electoral process in 2010 was marred by claims of tampering and deceit, leading to a boycott of the election by Aung San Suu Kyi's NLD. It may not come as a shock that the military was succeeded by a party supportive of the military, known as the USDP. This was certainly not the transparent and fair elections that many had anticipated. Only in 2015 did Myanmar conduct its inaugural democratic elections, where the NLD triumphed overwhelmingly. Due to constitutional restrictions, Aung San Suu Kyi was barred from the presidency because her children are foreign nationals, leading her to assume the role of state counselor. Despite this, she was widely acknowledged as the de facto leader of Myanmar. Yet, despite the NLD's significant electoral victory, they faced the challenge of the military's substantial political power. The military only agreed to share power because the new constitution guaranteed that they'd keep control over lots of key areas, plus they would also be guaranteed 25% of the seats in parliament. No matter what, the military has basically used their control of the parliament to sort of block reforms, and also they still maintain control over defense and immigration, and also the judiciary as well. This leads us to the real motivations behind the military seizure of power. Moreover, the military chief, who has now assumed control over the nation, has not been secretive about his presidential ambitions. Experts suggest it's not just about self-preservation, it's also about shielding himself from the actions he took as a military commander. He has been labeled as one of the world's most sought-after individuals due to his involvement in the harsh suppression of the Rohingya, a Muslim minority primarily residing in Myanmar's Rakhine state. For the last decade, he has led the armed forces. Reports indicate that they have attacked and eliminated thousands of individuals from the Rohingya community, setting ablaze over 200 villages, which has led to several 100,000 people seeking refuge by crossing the border into Bangladesh. In the absence of military control over politics or the nation's leader's shield, he could face significant repercussions for his deeds. It is crucial to acknowledge that the most extensive military suppression occurred in the year 2017. What unfolds now? The strain between the armed forces and demonstrators is intensifying. The military has initiated gunfire on the populace, with tanks advancing into key urban areas, and once more, they are severing internet access in an effort to suppress the demonstrations. Additionally, Aung San Suu Kyi is facing new legal charges, accused of violating the nation's natural disaster legislation, a move that permits the military to extend her detention. As it appears that neither the military nor the demonstrators are prepared to retreat shortly, we must bide our time to observe the forthcoming developments and if Myanmar is able to resume its extended path toward democratic governance.